What is happening, everybody? Josh here from Spawn Fly Fish, and we're back with a tying tutorial. Today we're tying a shrimp pattern with some really cool elements. Hope you enjoy. Alright, in the vise we have an Ahrex PR358, bend back and size 4. And if you tie anything like me, you get into a sort of a kick of using similar materials, similar hooks. So I'm on a bit of a kick with this hook. So that is why you are seeing it showcased a lot lately. A lot of the patterns that I'm tying up, I'm utilizing these hooks and seeing what I can do to bring them to the fisheries that I love to participate in. On the back we have a Spawn football bead in 7mm in peach. My favorite color for those of you that don't know that. Alrighty, what we're going to do here, we got some lead-free wire. We're just going to slide that in, and we got some Danville in fluorescent orange and a bobbin that ceramic was slipping. And we will start our thread wraps. Trim off this tag end, and then I will lock down those lead-free wraps with some 45-degree wraps both ways. And then bring it straight down and really lock that into place. Holy mackerel. We might have to do a bobbin switch here at some point. Alright, we're going to work our way back down. And good to go. What the? Got a little slippage there. Alrighty. Another item that we have here at Spawn Fly Fish is the Widgeon. It's a feather that we offer. We're hand sorting each and every one of these. And the color of this feather is just, for me, is irresistible. And I'm not a classic space style fly tyer. At some point I would love to get into it. So what I'm doing with a lot of these specialized feathers is working them into styles of flies that I already fish. So today we will be bringing this sort of color and barring into a shrimp pattern. What I did here is I stripped off one side of this feather. I really like the barring on these. So by all means, if you like some of this tan, here's the stripped off part here. It does make a really nice wispy tan, which could be definitely utilized in some of these shrimp patterns. But for me today, I really want to showcase some of this barring. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to tie some in on the bottom here. And I'm going to trim that off. Pete was so kind to grab another bobbin, so we are going to just throw in a quick whip finish here, and I'm going to change bobbins. Shoe change. Alrighty, look at Pete coming to the rescue. We got a new bobbin here. He turned around. I sucked the thread through. We'll tell him later off camera. So did it really happen? But anyways, back to Widgeon. So we got a Widgeon feather here tied in the front. I peeled off one side. I really just want that barring here in the front of this shrimp pattern. So I'm going to then wrap this feather. I'm first going to make sure these are all looking good. I'm going to wrap it towards me just because of how I tied it in. But I'm going to get just a few wraps here. You can see this barring. Really nice coloration here. It is just nice. Alright, that'll do it here. Create a little V. And I'm going to bring my thread back. And get that. And trim off the excess. So far, so good. Alright. Before I forget, I'm going to take some ultra wire in brown, or maybe it's amber. Where is it here? Brown. And I'm going to tie that in. Almost forgot. So, next thing we're going to do here is we're going to take some deer belly hair. I've used this in some shrimp patterns before. I really like how it pops. It's going to have some profile in the water. It's going to keep its shape. We don't need a lot of this. We're just gonna tie it, and we're gonna tie that right on top. And we do want this to flare up like so. So don't worry about being gentle and pulling up. You can wrench down on that thing and really make those fibers pop. All right, we are getting closer. Next thing we're going to do here is we are going to take some Spawn's Fluorescent Southern Peach Ostrich, and I want these really wispy fibers here on this pattern. Sometimes you want some bushier ones, sometimes some wispy ones. This plume has a lot of these really wispy fibers, and these things are going to flow around in the water like crazy, and that is exactly what I am looking for. So we're going to go about twice the hook length here. So I'm going to trim a little bit that off. I don't want those to stick out too crazy. There we go. Maintaining these fibers on top and bringing them all the way back. So you can kind of see already this profile of this shrimp is coming to life, and that widgeon is looking good. All right, look at these things. These are the new translucent smoke gray eyes from Easy Shrimp Eyes, and I really, really like these suckers. So what we're going to do is we're going to tie these down, and we want them to curve up just a wee bit, as you can see that on that profile of this hook, and we're going to tie all that down. And we're giving ourselves a pretty nice little smooth transition here to the front of the fly. I'll get my finger out of the way so you can see it. And looking pretty good. Alrighty. So next thing we're going to do here is we're going to take some Spawn Simi Seal and Ghost Shrimp UV Orange. We're just going to start dubbing our thread. We're going to leave a little gap here near the bead, because we're going to come in with some more elements at the end of this pattern, but we are going to start working our way back dubbing our thread, making sure a nice tight dub. We're going to come in and brush it out. Don't forget we got the wire there waiting for us. And we're going all the way up to where we tied in those other materials. That is important. And I usually get a couple more wraps when I'm dubbing it like this near those other materials, because I want the Simi Seal to fan out over them. So that is the rationale behind that. In the water, this looks really slick. Doesn't have to be perfect, but we want it to look good, especially when we're tying it on camera for you guys. All right, we are nearing the finish line for this dub noodle, working our way back towards that 7mm Spawn football bead. And so far, so good. All right, we got our wire here. We are going to just bring this in, and we're just going to do some evenly spaced wraps. I'm going to make sure I can see. This is more or less just to hold it together. It's going to bring it all in here and make sure that this can get chewed on time after time and still hold its shape and profile. So cut that off, and we're going to tie that in. I do like to use an orange thread for this. I do think it's important to have some sort of element like that. And what we're going to do here is we're going to come in, we got a dubbing brush, we're just going to untrap some of these fibers and brush them out, especially now that we got that wire in there. give it a little profile, get those UV hotspots flaring out. Doesn't need to be anything crazy, but we want to untrap those fibers. Absolutely love tying shrimp patterns. Anytime I find a new material that I like, you can bet that I'm going to work it into a shrimp. Alright, just take that out for a second, just so I can see it, make sure it's looking good. And hopefully that's still in focus for you guys. If not, I can adjust just a wee bit. But so far so good. Alrighty, we got another Widgeon feather here. The barring on this is just frankly phenomenal. And what we're going to do is we're going to just, with this hook shape here, is we're going to just kind of encapsulate the whole thing with this Widgeon feather. And it's going to just really have these hot spots that shine through with the spawn Simi seal and the deer belly hair as well as the ostrich. It's just going to bring this pattern to life as it comes through the water. Alrighty, again I stripped off one side here and I'm going to tie that down. Need to tighten that off a little bit. I got it in the wrong spot. There we go. Trim off that excess. And we're going to bring that all together. Just a lot of just really shrimpy goodness in this Widgeon feather, frankly, in my opinion. These feathers, although are specialized and have a storied history, can be used and integrated into so many different patterns. And we're seeing that a lot already with those of you that have been purchasing them from us. You know, it's not just a single style of fly that's being tied. And that's hopefully what I want to showcase today, is that a lot of these feathers you can do a ton of different things with. And it's always fun integrating materials into a pattern. Alright, so we're gonna do a whip finish here. And again, that orange hot spot at the back tail end of this is important. I'm gonna come in with some head cement afterwards as well. But what I want to do here is brush this out. So some of these fibers are going to be stuck to one another. So we're going to separate those out a little bit. They'll do it in the water just fine, but just so we can see here. They're not really as stuck together as it looks, but I'm going to take this off and give it a little dunk in the water here and then show you what this kind of looks like. So as you can see, looks like a shrimp. It's got those barrings that kind of exaggerate as they go down the shrimp body, and it just really comes together really nicely. So you can still see the spawn Simi seal through. It's going to have a nice profile. You can see some of that deer hair, keep that profile at the end, as well as that ostrich in that spawn's fluorescent southern peach. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, hit like, hit subscribe. Pick yourself up a pack of Widgeon, some spawn products, and we will see you guys next time.